galloped into the fray from, the west side of Bridge Square. They were Jim Younger, William Chadwell, and Jesse James. In this state of confusion, the first person was shot. He was Nicholas Gustafson, a Swedish immigrant, who had only recently come to this country, did not understand English, and had remained on the street after being ordered away. Gustafson died a few days later. We have another eyewitness to our day in 1876. His name is Dr. Whiting. He was our dentist in those years, and he had a patient he was working on just inside that door at the top of the stairs. Dr. Whiting, could you give us your impressions of what you saw that day?
Well, it was a few minutes before 2 o'clock when I heard the first gunshot ring out. I was with the patient, Addie Murray, and we both looked at each other in surprise. And I remember there was a traveling circus show coming to town this weekend, so I surmised it must have been some kind of promotion for that event. But when the shots continued, I came out onto this perch here to get a better look. And it took just a couple moments to realize that our bank was under attack. Now, there seemed to be one man in particular who was in command and who was shouting orders to the rest of the men on horseback. I later came to know that man as Cole Younger. And as the bandits were riding up and down the street, they were shouting orders while indiscriminately firing at our unarmed citizens. Now, in the midst of this violence, I saw one man running down the sidewalk. The ravens were firing their guns as they ordered him to get back inside. Now, these bandits were ordered to shoot with intention to kill or wound their targets. And despite the testimony of Cole Younger, I never heard him contradict that order. From this vantage point, I certainly would have heard such an order. Well, shortly after this, one of the men discovered me, and with curses, ordered me to get inside. And he accompanied this order with a gunshot, which struck the wall behind me. So I decided to retreat, and I went back indoors, deciding to watch the action from a nearby window. Well, when I got to that window, I noticed that Cole had been joined by his brothers, Bob and Jim, and they were now attacking A.R. Manning, who had appeared at the corner of this building armed with a gun. I heard Cole yell for them to charge up on him, and then he told them to shoot through the stairs, which he did a number of times. And upon seeing me, he yelled, "Shoot that man up in the window!" And I ducked back down and dared not look again until the would-be robbers made a hasty retreat to the south with little to show for blood for their efforts. Now, while it was a tragic day for our community, it did show the true mettle of our otherwise peace-loving citizens. The loss of Haywood was a devastating blow to us all. To think the man had survived some of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, only to lose his life at the hands of the cowardly Frank James. Also sad was the death of the Swede, the citizen shot on the street. He died a few days later. I'll remember the events of that day for the rest of my life.
No wonder. Thank you, Dr. Whiting. Tim Freeland is Dr. Whiting, everyone. Inside the bank, Frank James and his cohorts had counted 3 employees. Later, A.E. Bunker would testify that he smelled alcohol on their breath and sensed trouble right away. Behind Bunker sat the bookkeeper that day, Frank J. Wilcox, and the acting cashier, Joseph Lee Haywood. Mr. Phillips, the regular cashier, was out of the state, attending the National Centennial in Philadelphia.